My dear students, I would like to welcome you all again to my class of today. I am Dr. Abhijit Majumdar, Professor and Director of Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pharmacy Institute, Greater Noida. Now, today in our class today, we will mainly concentrating on what are the various levels of management and what competencies a manager must have in order to run an organization successfully. See, many of you have a dream to join the marketing sector as your career option. To them, this subject is having a tremendous importance because in the initial few lectures, we will be covering about the basic principles of management, after which we will be shifting on or focusing ourselves on mainly the marketing aspects. But the students who are having a dream of joining an R&D sector or a production or a quality assurance, whatever they are, they have a significant role of these subjects. Can you tell me why? The basic purpose is these lectures will give you an idea about what competencies, what skill you need to develop whenever you will become a manager in the long run in the organization. Say for example, today you are joining a production department as a supervisor. That is, you are joining at the lowest level in the organization, and remember the supervisor post also is the management post. As you move up, you will become general manager production, then you will be vice president production. As and when you gain experience, you will be achieving the post of president production and so on. Now, the question is, what are the basic competencies which you need to have to be successful in your future career? So, this subject is having tremendous importance not only for the marketing people, but also for any students of pharmacy in general. Now, any organization, or to be more specific, any pharmaceutical organization, they are having an organization structure which looks exactly like that of your pyramid. Any organization, they are having the structure that of your pyramid. These are the three levels. The lower level, which we are calling as the first line managers. Then we are having the middle level managers here, and finally, the top level managers are placed on the highest level. So, this is the top, middle and the lowest level. So, an organization basically has three tiers: lowest, middle and the highest level. Let us start from the lowest level. Now, the lowest level managers, commonly referred to as the first line managers, they have a direct responsibility for the production for the goods and the services. I am repeating once again. The first line managers have the direct responsibility for producing the goods and the services in an organization. Therefore, they are termed as foremen. In some organizations, they are termed as supervisors. in some organizations, depending on the section where he is working, we are calling it as a clerical supervisors. But these people, remember, they are the main pillar of an organization to produce the goods and the services which the organizations are about to deliver. Next is the middle level. The role of a middle level managers are to coordinate with the employee activities, to determine which goods or service to provide, and their function is to decide how to market the goods and services to the customers. Mainly the assistant managers or the various divisional heads, say marketing, R&D, production, they are all coming under the middle level managers. And the people who are in the topmost level, they provide the overall direction of the organization, where the organization will move, where the organization plans to reach 5 years down the line. They are called the top managers. Depending on the organizations, they are known as chief executive officers, president, vice president, and so on. Now, there are two things which I would like to focus on. Just if you look at the structure, you will see that the area of the lowest level is maximum, that followed by the middle level, and that followed by the level at the top. It means that the number of first line managers are maximum, the number of people who are working at the middle level management is moderate, and the number of people who are working as top level managers, they are very less. That is, as we move up from the lower to the bottom, the number of people working at a particular level gradually diminishes. So, in an organization you will find much more number of people working as supervisors as compared to the regional managers and the area managers, and the number of area managers will be much more as compared to that of the topmost level in the marketing team, that is vice president and president and so on. So, as we move up from the bottom to the top, the number of people serving an organization decreases. Another thing which I would like to highlight here is the people who are working in the lower level, they need to carry out the day-to-day functions, and they have to take the decisions which are required on the daily basis. Whereas, a person who is working in the topmost level, the degree of importance for its decision is much more as compared to the degree of importance of a decision which is taken by the supervisors. So, in all organizations you will find the important decision, the key decisions, they are taken by the top level management, and that decision percolates to the middle level, and the middle level manager, in order to implement that particular decision, frame certain strategies and then percolate this information down to the first line managers who have to implement the work in the actual reality. The top level managers, they have to be in touch with the major stakeholders. They should have a very high intuition power. They must be experienced, because whenever they are taking a decision, it is generally a long term decision. Sometimes, however, short term decisions are also taken care of, but mostly they are taking a long term decisions. And if their decision goes wrong, if the decisions of the top managers goes wrong, automatically the organization will move in the wrong direction. Therefore, if we talk of the importance of decision taken by the top level managers are maximum, and the degree of importance of decision taken by the first line managers are comparatively lesser, much lesser as compared to the other decision levels. This is the structure which we draw: the top level, middle level, and the first line managers, basically a structure of that of a pyramid. Whether it is a pharmaceutical sector, whether it is an automobile sector, whether it is a cosmetic sector, whether it is an electronic sector, maximum most of the organization they have this pyramidal structure in common. Let us segregate the functions as per the management or the manager's level at a particular level in an organization. So, let us see the first line managers or the lower level management. The first line managers, they are directly responsible for the production of goods or services. They are the employees who report to the first line managers do the organization work. The employees who report to the first line managers, that is the daily laborers, the workers who prepares the tablet. It is you as a supervisor who is supervising. Supervising whom? Supervising a group of employees who themselves are preparing a particular preparation of tablets. Therefore, first line managers leads a team of individuals who are preparing the product which the company are giving to the people in large. So, the employees who report to the first line managers do the major task of the organization, but they spend very little time with the higher level management. In fact, they do not have any role to play with the vice president. Say a worker who is coming daily for your work, they may not have seen the manager, the managing director or a chief executive officer in their entire lifetime also. That is, they are not in touch with the highest level management in an organization. So, spend very little time with the top management in an organization, particularly if the organization is large. Here, the technical expertise is very important. The technical expertise is very important. There are various types of skills: soft skill, behavioral skill, technical skill. Now, as because they themselves are responsible for the production of an item, they must have a very high expertise in the technical area. That is, the technical knowledge must be very high, very good. They rely on what plans are made by the higher level, that is the middle and the frontline managers. So, rely on the planning and administration, self management, teamwork, communication competencies to get the work done. Next, let us see what are the functions which a middle level managers needs to perform. The middle level managers, he receives an information from the highest level or the top level, and his role is he will percolate that information to the first line or the front line managers. So, he is a sandwich between the top and the lowest level. So, let us see what are his objectives, what are his functions. Responsible for setting objectives that are consistent with the top management goals and translating them into specific goals and plans for the first line managers to implement. As I have told you that the top level management takes a decision on what will be the strategy, what will be the 5 years plan, what will be the short term and long term plans, and they pass on the information to the middle level. Now, this middle level management, who is sandwiched between the two, translate them into specific planning sub plans and inform to the people who are below. Below means the first line managers. First line managers gets information from the middle level, and then they take up planning amongst themselves how to get the work done which has been assigned to them. Middle level managers responsible for coordinating activities of the first line managers. The middle level managers establish the target dates for the products and the service to be delivered, because it is a time bound activity. They tell the lower level manager that okay, you have to do this job within a period of say 15 days or 20 days or 1 month, depending on the nature of the work. Therefore, they establish target dates for the products and service to be delivered. They need to coordinate with others for the resources. Whenever they are giving the information to the frontline managers, they are giving them the guidelines, and they have to provide them the resources also to get it done. The ability to develop others is very important, and as far as the middle level management is concerned, what are the key features which is required for the middle level managers to be successful? They rely on the communication, they rely on the teamwork, they rely on the planning, administration competencies to get the work done. So, the functions of a middle level management is nothing but a sort of a coordination between the two. And in order to coordinate, a middle level manager must have a very good communication skill. Why very good communication skill? Because the communication skill is of utmost priority. Unless you are in a position to communicate in a very crystal clear manner, the lower level of the frontline managers will not be able to do the activity. You should be a good team leader. So, your teamwork must be excellent. You should have a very good administrative skills, administrative competency, so that your planning is efficient, so that goals are achieved with the optimum utilization of resources in a time bound way. There are two terms which I am using repeatedly. One is optimum utilization of resources, one is time bound. If your labor is sitting idle for a certain long period of time, you are nothing but wasting your money. And if you are not in a position to perform within a particular time interval, time gap, you are losing an opportunity. So, in all level of management, whether it is a frontline manager or the middle line manager or the top line managers, they need to do all activities in a time bound way and by optimum use of resources. Now, top level responsible for providing the overall direction of an organization, they are the individuals who are responsible for the development of goals and strategies for the entire organization. It is both long term goals as well as short term goals. Both needs to be taken care of. They need to develop the goals and strategies for the organization, spend most of the time in planning and leading. Spend most of the time in planning and leading. That is, planning is of utmost importance to an individual who is working in the top level management. Next is to communicate with the key stakeholders. The key stakeholders include the stockholders who provide the finance, the unions, the government agencies, company policies and so on. That is, one who are involved or who are benefited in the company's activities, they are all called as the stakeholders. The top managers use the multicultural and strategic action competencies to lead a firm, and this is very, very crucial. That is, the use of multicultural and strategic action competencies to lead a firm is of utmost importance. Now, if we look at the pyramidal structure again, you will see that top management requires very little technical skills, this much only, but they require a very high conceptual skills. The top management requires a very high conceptual skills. If we go a bit below, in the middle level management, they require a much greater amount of technical skills, but their maximum importance lies in the human skills. Their maximum requirement is the human skills, and conceptual skills is less as compared to the higher level. Whenever we are going further down, the supervisors or the operational management or the time level timeline managers, they need maximum amount of technical skills. They need maximum amount of technical skills. The person who are at the lowest level, they require maximum amount of technical skill, and please note very carefully, and they require a very little segment of conceptual skill. They in fact, they do not require conceptual skill as such. So, in a nutshell, the top level management requires conceptual skill, the middle level management requires human skill, and as far as the supervisors or the lower level or the frontline managers, they require the technical skills. Now, what are the competencies they have? What is competency? Competency is a combination of knowledge, skills, behavior, attitudes that contributes to the personal effectiveness. And whenever we are coming in context of a manager, we are calling it as a managerial competency. Managerial competency, set of knowledge, skills, behavior, attitude that a person needs in order to be effective in a wide range of positions and across wide group of organizations. That is called managerial competence. Let us see what they are. Basically, all managers require 6 levels of competency. Number 1, communication competency. Number 2, planning and administrative competency. 3 teamwork competency, 4 strategic action competency, multicultural competency and self management competency. These are the 6 competency which a manager requires. Let us see one by one what they are. Communication competency, communicate, whether it is a formal or it is an informal. Communication skill must be fantastic in case of a manager. Communication is the ability to effectively transfer and exchange information that leads to understanding between yourself and to the group of people to whom you are communicating. There are communication basically are of 2 types: informal, basically taking place across WhatsApp and all the social networks. It tries to develop a good interpersonal rapport. A very good interpersonal relationship developed by informal communication, whereas in all organizations formal communication is very important, officials. Used to communicate or announce major events, decision activities and keep individuals up to date. That is what we are calling as official communication, notice, letters. Lastly, last mode is negotiation, used to settle dispute, obtain resources and exercise influences. The next competency which a manager should have is a planning and administrative competency. Decide what tasks need to be done, determine how they are to be done, allocate resources to enable them to be done and then monitor the progress across a period of time. Information gathering, analysis, problem solving from the employees as well as from the customers, they are all coming under planning competency. Planning and organizing project with an agreed specified deadline, that they are all which a manager should have to comply with. So, a manager should have a very good planning and administrative competency in order to be successful. Time management is very important, budgeting and financial aspects is very important. Next is teamwork, the next function. Accomplishing tasks through smaller groups of people who are relatively responsible, collectively responsible, so that the work is done and the job requires proper coordination. So, teamwork, they should be in a position to work in a team. Designing teams properly involves having people to participate in setting the goals. Create a supportive team environment, gets the people committed to the team goals. Managing team dynamics involves settling of conflict, sharing team success and assigning the task that use the strength of the employees. I am repeating again and again that you have to give the task to the individuals depending on their strength. And please remember, as Henry Fayol has pointed out in Spirit the Corps Management, that it is we. We should not ever use the word I. The credit goes to the group of team, the entire team members if success happens. If you are in a position to do so, you are an effective team worker. Next is strategic action competency. Understanding the overall mission and values of the organization and ensuring that the employees' action match with them. Understands the how department or division in the work of an organization are interrelated with each other. Take strategic action to position the firm for success, especially in relation to the stakeholders concerned. That is, stakeholders, see, the stakeholders has given you money. They do not want that the company should drop down. So, we have to take a decision so that our firm is positioned in such a manner that it will be successful and leapfrogging the competitors. The competitors should not be allowed to cut down your profit. Next is multicultural competency, because as we know, people from various cultures comes up. Understanding, appreciating and responding to diverse political, cultural and economic issues across and within the nations. Cultural knowledge and understanding of events in at least a few other cultures. See, a manager basically must be a broad-minded individual. He should be in a position to accept people from all cultures, all religions. So, cultural openness and sensitivity to how other things act and feel, that must be kept into consideration whenever you are taking a decision as a manager. You should be respectful to the social etiquettes of other society. Do not be narrow-minded, do not be prejudiced. And the last competency which a manager has is self-management competency. Developing yourself and taking responsibility, integrity and ethical conduct, personal drive and resilience. You should be playing a role of an exemplar. You should play the role so that the people in your organization, they try to follow you. You should have a personal drive amongst you. You should show the other people how to do the work. Balancing work and life issue. This is another very important aspect which everyone should have. Finally, self-awareness and personal development activities is another important competency which a manager must have. He should be aware of what is happening in the surrounding, what is happening in the society, because we need to apply our intuition, experience, seeing the happenings of the society whenever we are taking a decision for our organization. With this, we are coming to the end of the class for today. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.